What a treat, what a treat. The killer bees are ecstatic. This is my favorite female leopard that we see over all our traverse. Brian, where's she rank for you?
I don't know, it's only my third time.
Only Brian's third time seeing this female. It is not one of the females we see too often, although we have been incredibly lucky over December with a lot of sightings. This is Inkanyeni, the Queen of the East. Isn't she absolutely gorgeous? A lovely golden color. She's a bit darker. Her coloration is quite a bit darker than Karula, Shadow, and Tundi. And I think that's what I like about her so much. Also, her lovely, long, fluffy ears. Oh, she's coming right towards us in this magnificent light. Remember, hashtag Safari Live if you want to ask any questions about this exquisite female leopard. Hello, madam. She is gorgeous. Oh, out of frame she goes, right behind the car. And we do need to thank Andrew for this. Isn't this awesome? Thanks very much, M4. You've made my end of 2016. It's my favorite Ingwe. Yes, it is. Did you see me try to drive out of the wild dogs this morning? Oh, it was very bad. Yes, sir. You heard me there. Andrew was asking if my clutch was working now. My clutch stopped working during our rehearsal this morning, and we were following wild dogs, which made life quite difficult. Now, I just hope she hangs around so we can bring the new year in with the incredible Inkanyeni. And who knows, maybe the young Vutomi, who is her about 13.5-month-old male cub. We need her to catch something nice and big and sit in this big marula tree we're going to park underneath. There we go. Beautiful tree. For a beautiful leopard, maybe she'll even climb it. I have seen her in trees quite regularly. Her name, Inkanyeni, is actually a marula tree, and it's because of her fondness for sitting in big marula trees. So Andrew said she was calling a little bit earlier, so she could be looking for the young riffraff Vutomi. Oh, now see what she's doing now. She's going right into that thicket. There could be a scrub hare in there. It's a good place for a steenbok to rest. So I love it when leopards do that. When we've seen Quarantine do that, we've actually seen them catch a scrub hare doing exactly that. She might have smelt something, heard something that just made her want to have a quick look in that little thicket. You can see how that dappled camouflage works fantastically well. And it sounds like a lot of you out there are just as happy as I am to see the beautiful Queen of the East. And her young male Vutomi is also becoming a fast favorite of mine. But I do have a soft spot for all young male leopards around that age. Oh, she got stuck in there. Janet is wondering how old Inkanyeni is. She's, if I remember correctly, she's 11 or so. No, maybe a bit younger. 11 or 10? Oh no, she's found something she likes. There's a plant that she's rubbing out. She must like the smell. Now, we don't get catnip here, but leopards do like certain smells, and they do like to rub up against those smells. And I think that's exactly what's happened. She's probably found Now, for a second, I thought that was a naughty plant, and I just have a look there, but I actually know what it is now. I think it's called a khaki bos, and it's a very strong-smelling plant, and it does tend to have the slight look of another plant species, of course. marijuana is what it looked like, but it is not a marijuana plant. Of course, marijuana is indigenous to Africa, but that is not. It's a thing called khaki bos or khaki weed, and it is a really strong smell. I find the smell quite unpleasant, but obviously she really likes it. I'll try, if I see some, I'll try, there's some right next to us, break off a branch and see what, I don't know how to describe the smell. Maybe Brian will be able to do it better than I. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Ephraim, keep coming, she's on Hornbill's nest still. She's stationary at the moment. Look at that, isn't that incredible? She's absolutely loving that khaki bos. Oh, and I said, I don't know how to describe the smell, so I'm just leaning out of the car to pick some. There's right next to us. Yeah, it's definitely khaki bos she's rolling in. Brian, I'm going to give it to you. What would you describe that as? I find it quite unpleasant. Brian's thinking.
Oh, it's delicious.
You like the smell? I think it's childhood memories of having to cut it out, because it can be a serious weed in your grandmother's garden.
Very sweet. Mm.
A very sweet smell.
Mm.
Sweet with a sort of, I'm trying to think, it reminds me of something, but I can't remember what it is.
Very nice.
I think it's those weeding days that remind me of it, that I don't like the smell. But she certainly loves the smell. Now imagine that. Now you can see how difficult it is to find an elusive leopard. If we were driving, the road is probably 15 meters from here, and you would not see her sleeping in the base of that thicket. Now while Brian and I decide exactly what khaki bos smells like, we're going to have a long discussion, I think, Brian. We're going to go across to Jamie with one of the animals that has the highest protein biomass in. Well, she hasn't left her little thicket and is still enjoying the scent of the khaki bos, no doubt. Now, Brian and I still can't quite decide what it smells like. Of course, you can see there's Ephraim. Hi, Eph. Hello. Who's joined us here while we're smelling the khaki bos and waiting for the Queen of the East, Inkanyeni, to start moving again. I'm really hoping that she discovers Vutomi now. So you can see it's a very serrated little edge to the leaves, but that smell is very, very distinct. There's very little else that smells like that. And she was behaving like a domestic cat would behave with catnip while rolling around and smelling the khaki bos. Now, Brian likes the smell. I think it is thoroughly unpleasant. It can be used as an insect repellent because it smells so bad, Brian. But it's a very distinct smell, and it's not something you forget easily. Now, I know a lot of you have been wondering about what happened with Inkanyeni, quarantine, and Vutomi recently. And it is just one of those incredible things, and there is no explanation. As I say many, many times, leopards can do the complete opposite to what they're said to have to do in the guidebook. So just one of those really incredible, lucky encounters that Shanae had, having all those leopards interacting together. Now, I was hoping she might get moving again shortly. Now, we don't want her to go north, we want her to keep going west. And I'm hoping that Vutomia, somewhere around here. Andrew said she was calling a little bit earlier, so that means that young male could be close at hand. That camouflage is just incredible. Now, James is wondering, does Inkanyeni's territory extend into Chitwa? I don't think so, James. I think it's probably somewhere in Cheetah Plains. Oh, there we go. What is she up to? Is she rubbing again? No, she's giving herself a bit of a lick. Or is she rubbing? I can't really see. No, a bit of preening. So probably, I'd say the boundary for Inkanyeni and Thandi is somewhere around the Cheetah Plains Lodge, probably just east of the Cheetah Plains Lodge. F, what do you think? Yeah. There we go. Ephraim, who lives here, he's the man, he knows. So the boundary is to the east of the Cheetah Plains Lodge. So just as we come into Cheetah Plains, somewhere around that area. But most of Inkanyeni's territory is to the east into the Kruger National Park. That's why it's always such a treat to see this leopard, because she does spend a lot of time outside of the Sabi Sands. Now, if you hear me smacking myself, it's just to try and fight off the biting flies. Now, Janet's wondering, does the khaki boss smell like licorice? Janet, it doesn't. It smells like khaki boss.
It smells delicious.
And Brian says it smells delicious. I think it smells disgusting. And Jamie agrees with me. It's a very sweet, almost sickly sweet smell, I would say. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It smells like khaki boss. Brian wants to have another smell. Let's see what Brian thinks. What do you think it smells like, F? Not good. There we go. Brian, there's something wrong with you. Everyone else seems to think it smells disgusting. Brian likes it. He's inhaling it deeply at the moment. Well, we know
Splendid.
Splendid. I thought you said spearmint. I was like, no, it definitely doesn't smell like spearmint. Oh. I'm trying to think. Maybe James would be the best to maybe place a smell on it. It's sweet, it's sickly sweet. Right, as we saw earlier, Inkanyeni likes it. Now, sometimes catnip can make cats go absolutely batty and a little bit aggressive. I've never actually seen that with leopards, with the certain plant species they do like to smell. Now, one of the funniest things, especially in areas where leopards are persecuted quite heavily and are very nervous of game drive vehicles or people in general, and researchers are doing projects, and another great place, for example, is the rainforest, just because you can't drive around, you can't see them there. But they need to get photographs on the camera traps of the leopards, and what they do is they spray perfume on certain trees and stuff, and the leopards will do the same as she did with that khaki horse. She'll go rub up and down along it, and funniest enough, it seems that leopards have very expensive taste. So the most successful of all perfumes attempted to get those leopards to rub up and down and really get attracted to that smell is Chanel No. 5. So there's some, I wonder if Chanel sponsors any leopard research out in Africa or India where the leopards get to go rub up against Chanel No. 5. I've done it in Gabon. We used a couple of different ones. We used Chanel No. 5, I think we used DKNY, but Chanel No. 5 got us the best pictures. Well, they certainly know what the good stuff is, the leopards. Now, it looks like she's having... just see the bush moving. A curious one is wondering, what is that orange thing hanging? Brian, can you see that little orange leaf, I think? I think that is all it is. Yes. It is a dead leaf. Oh, she's having a good rub around in the khaki boss again. And you've got to wonder about a leopard's taste, because if she loves rubbing on khaki bos and she loves Chanel No. 5, and they definitely don't smell the same. Maybe if we lose her, we'll get Brian to jump off camera and go roll around in the lovely smelling khaki bos, since he likes it so much. Gladly. I'll film it. I'll film it, Brian. Now remember guys, this is 100% live, coming to you from South Africa. We're at the moment on Cheetah Plains Private Game Reserve in the northeastern Sabi Sands, part of the Greater Kruger National Park, which is part of the Greater Limpopo Transfrontier Park, which is 8.5 million acres of unfenced wilderness, where the animals can live wild and free, protected from hunting and poaching and all other manners of nefariousness. Of course, one must remember that it is a hard life out here, and the biggest danger often to leopards and lions is other leopards and lions. As you would have seen in that video with Quarantine, Vutumi and Inkanyeni. Look at her, she's on her back. She is absolutely loving that khaki bos thicket. Now, I have heard that khaki bos is very good for keeping ticks off if you rub it on your legs. So ticks don't even like the smell of khaki bos. It's only Brian Djuma. Does the thumb like the smell?
Of course.
Of course the thumb likes the smell. I mean, look at that. Even with that white belly exposed, she just melts into the green. Oh, bless you. Oh, again. A nutter farmer would like to know, are guests on safari asked not to wear perfume? I don't know, maybe we should ask the guest. No, of course, I'm joking. No. Quite often when you're in a vehicle, you must realize that there's so many more overpowering smells. Oil, gasoline, gendre. So, gendre's hair in particular. But no, there are so many more overpowering smells that it doesn't make a difference when people are on a vehicle or on a bushwalk. And you must realize that animals do not associate people now to the smell that they would. So, as we know, Africa is the home of the human being, and modern day man reached current form about 200,000 years ago in Africa. So what we smelt like then and what we smell like now are completely different things. So they don't associate any of those smells with human beings, so it's not a problem. And as I said, there's so many overbearing smells around on a game drive vehicle. And you must remember, and it's not only the perfume that might attract the lovely leopard. It's deodorant, it's shampoo, it's washing powder, it's, I don't know, what do they make the clothes soft with? Fabric softener, that's the one. See, I never do any laundry. I'm lucky I live in the bush. All my laundry is done for me. So fabric softener, there we go. That's the one, which is quite a strong smell. But the smell of the vehicles will overpower almost all of that. And of course, when you're on foot, that bipedal upright figure of man, the dominant diurnal predator, it will be enough that they'll move off before wanting to have a good sniff. You can see when I saw her moving, she was quite hungry, but it's still quite warm, so you can see her belly moving up and down. So she is enjoying her time in the little shaded khaki bos thicket with a wonderful smell if you're a leopard and Brian Djuma. But now, of course, we are going to be going off for a little break quickly, so make sure to come back in case she gets up and goes on the hunt. We'll see you shortly. Oh, butterfly just fluttered through. And of course, for those of you watching and getting very confused because there's no advert popping up, we are prepping to go live on Nat.Geo Wild on Sunday night at 10 p.m. And we've got to get our ad break timings spot on. And so, can you believe that? So, if you are sitting in the US of A and you are enjoying your safari, you can see us on a big screen on Nat.Geo Wild, 10 p.m. on Sunday. But even better, it's carrying on for a whole 8 weeks. Every Sunday night, we'll be going live to Nat.Geo Wild. If it's a bit late for you, remember to DVR us, and you can watch us anytime and not miss any of this incredible safari live action. As you can see, when I say action, I mean sleeping cat. Now, Jay Atkinson is saying, how excited are you and the rest of the crew that tomorrow is the big day, the beginning of our series on Nat.Geo Wild? Well, I would say I'm pretty ecstatic. Brian, what would you say?
I'm fairly chuffed.
Fairly chuffed. But where's a stick? He likes the smell of khaki balls, and he's just fairly chuffed. I don't think we need to set a reset button, a whack on the back of the head, or maybe it was because he whacked his head on the aerial yesterday. No, we are all very, very excited, and we can't wait to hopefully gain a few more Safari Live fans. And it is absolutely incredible that we are able to bring this to you live wherever you are in the world and give you a glimpse into the incredible wildlife of Africa and to our home. You can see that wonderful little white tip to her tail there. Not much is going to be following it while it's in the thicket though. There's the khaki bos, Brian's new favorite plant. There's the orange dried leaf. And there's Inkanyeni, who seems to be absolutely in ecstasy. Now, we're going to sit here, as I said, hopefully she gets moving, hopefully she finds Vutumi, her 13.5-month-old cub, and hopefully she makes a kill, and we're sitting right in this tree for going live on Nat.Geo Wild. Not quite running, but she's on the move again, and unfortunately she is heading a little bit north. We're just trying to get around her now. Let's hope she doesn't cross our northern traverse edge. But she is sort of slowly making her way to that area. Watch out, Brian. Now she might head for that marula tree for a scent mark. There we go. 1, 2, squirt, squirt. Oh dear. You run dry, madam. Hi, Shah. Shah would like to know, do male leopards scent mark more than female leopards? They do, because they've got a much larger area. Watch out, aerial there, Brian. A much larger area that they've got a scent mark through. So that's why they end up scent marking a lot more. Here we go, the very typical leopard pose when it comes to a fallen log. Front legs up, have a quick squiz. Well, that was a very big tree once upon a time. Now she's heading into some thickets here. Hopefully we're going to be able to find a way to weave through and stick with her. Okay, now we go. I'm hoping she's going to head towards a beautiful big marula tree on top of a lovely termite mound. So I'm just trying to beat her there. Okay, perfect. See, now this is the termite mound in the tree I was talking about. I was hoping she was heading for this spot, and it looks like she is doing just that. So quite often it's really important to second guess where a leopard's going to go in these thicker areas. So reading her behavior, knowing that she's going to probably head towards a termite mound, nice high ground, or even if she's on the scent marking route, this is a tree she would most likely scent mark. Hello, beautiful. So gorgeous. She's going to come right next to us. Straight to the marula tree. Sniff, 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 sniff. See who else has been around. Has quarantine been here? Has Shivalam? Oh, she's going to jump up right next to us. Oh, yay! Oh, that is brilliant. You are a beautiful lady, and she's in her namesake. A beautiful. Now, that's not something you'd see too often, a leopard calling from in a tree. And I think she's searching for the young miscreant Vutomi. Hey, madam. Isn't that absolutely exquisite light? And she looks like she wants to lie down, and she might go a little bit higher. Oh, they are just so incredibly fluid and graceful. She's going to lie down now, hopefully. Ephraim, she's pizzled in senior now. It's very nice. Absolutely gorgeous. Ephraim. I mean, I was expecting her to scent mark. I was not expecting her to jump up here. But, I mean, she did get her name for her over-fondness of being in marula trees. Now, I think she is looking for Vutomi while she's calling. Oh, excuse me.
Listen.
Thank you. Khaki boss. Now, quickly across to James.